Well, holy moly. Yo, people, people. When I tell you Demise is, it's a film you need to check out. You need to check it out. Man, my girl Amy hooked me up real good with this one. Okay. So you're thinking, what's the gist, right? What's the gist with the flick? So it's this, right? It is written and directed by Yara Estrada Lowe. You know, the film is produced by um, Annabelle D. Monroe, Nicole Metcalf, um, and Yara Estrada Lowe. It's executive produced by Eamon Bardi, John Eschelberg, Stephen Lowe, and Jeff Olin. It is co-produced by Ace Underhill, Ezekiel Martinez Jr., and Jason Dax. It's associate produced by Marvin Glover. Jeff Clayton handles the music. Justin Aguiar and Alex Van Putten took care of cinematography. Dewan Carsten is on production design. Tanuna Carson is art direction. Victoria Vasenko was costume design, hair and makeup. We have Nadine Penna and Denise Valavazo, right? And this cast. Well, Celine is played by Liz Fenning. Caleb is played by Carlo Mendez. We then have Fiona and Fabiola, played by Crystal Hernandez. Which, I mean, that explains a lot, right? Fiona's best friend, Miguel, is played by Morris Jude. We have got Pamela Yves, played by Marlene Facey. There is Lydia, played by Kathleen Rose Williams. Elena, played by Lucy Serrano. Baby Brody is played by Noah Solo Schaefer. Brody at 1 is played by Levi John Johnson. Brody at 6 is played by Sterling Monroe. All right, we have got who else do we have that we should mention? Martin is played by Bill Neerhoff. Nurse Sally is played by Chiney Moore. Dr. Simon Smith is played by Richard Rivera. We got Celine's boyfriend, played by Octavio Taddy. Our nurses, the male nurse is played by Cedric Jonathan. There's nurse. Who else is there? So there's another nurse is played by Anastasia Lincoln. We got the other doctors in the house. right? One's played by Mark Shafir, and another doctor is played by Stephen Lowe, right? I think that's probably our main group of people. So the gist of the film is set in present day. Latino landscaper Caleb Castillo leads a double life. He's he is estranged, no, entangled in a steamy affair with rising fashion star Fiona Hernandez, while simultaneously devoted to his beautiful wife Celine. Celine wants a child with Caleb more than anything in the world. As Fiona's patience wears thin with Caleb's promises to leave his wife, Celine discovers Caleb's infidelity. They break up. Caleb and Fiona begin to forge a new life together, but Celine becomes obsessed with reclaiming what she believes is rightfully hers, including Caleb's newborn son, Brody. It appears that she may just succeed, but just when Celine thinks she has achieved victory, the film takes yet another twist and turn on this roller coaster ride of a modern day noir set in LA. Oh my gosh, people, there are so many turns in this film. Like, oh, you might think, right? I had an idea of where this might go, but it did take it went in a slightly different direction that I was not expecting. And that's great, right? That's always great. Now, people, this, right, is the feature directorial debut from Estrada Lowe. You know what I mean? And there is so much polish here, right? So much polish you would never have guessed, right? There's a big part of a lot of the articles that have been like written about this film, which is soon to drop, is about like the Latino takeover. You know what I mean? Like a Latino woman behind the camera doing her thing, which that's fantastic. But the story isn't that, right? The story is that this, you know what I mean, young woman has just come and really kicked ass, right? And I think it's just that perfect example, right? It's that perfect example of giving people opportunities, right? Letting new voices shine. Because we have seen it over and over again, right? We've seen it over and over again that when talented individuals get their shot, oh, they can shine, right? They can just kill it. And that is what we see here. You know what I mean? That's what we see here. She is perfect at telling a story, right? The way this is crafted is crazy, right? It's a steamy noir. And we get this kind of imagery as the credits at the beginning, the title credits are rolling. And then we are in the midst of Caleb and Fiona getting it on, right? So we see that, and you understand quickly that, oh, okay, this is not the wife, right? And then we see him with Celine. So, you know, straight away, we understand who Caleb is. You know what I mean? And it's just seeing these different dynamics, right? See these different dynamics. Now, what I think is really interesting is that although, You know what I mean? You can look at this and be like, yo, this is a crazy fucking storyline, right? Though, listen, when you know people that have had affairs and done some grimy things, right? And we've seen it in the news, and you know what I mean? So it's not just like people you may know, but we've just seen it over and over again. People can do some real crazy things, and it can send people into a complete spiral. So a lot of this film, you go, yeah, straight, right? Straight. I see that happening. I can see how someone gets to that. But also, the friends, right? There's conversations with the friends where you'd be like, okay, that's cool. Now, Fiona has a conversation with Miguel, and you're just like, boom. I love that shit because we don't always see that, right? We don't always see the friend being like, yo, come on now. What did you expect here? You know? So all of that is great. And although we are following things in the in the present, we get some really well placed flashbacks so we can see how certain things started and certain situations, you know what I mean, got going, which I thought that was handled very well, you know? Like there's something big that goes down. I think it's like just before the hour mark, and you're watching and you're thinking, yo, okay, where does this go now? Right? And there's things that you think, okay, I'm not quite sure where it's gonna go, right? From this point, and then other shit goes down, right? Other shit goes down, and you're just like, whoa, okay, what do we do now? Where do we go from here? Yeah, it's fantastic. I was so gripped with this film. I really enjoyed. Now, like back, I just remember back in the day, right? There was this sitcom, Sunset Beach, which was insane. It got crazy. The dog was talking to the baby, and just all of this stuff. Now, it's not insane. It's not as crazy as that. But you know what I mean? Just the whole Fiona Fabella, right? Just those kind of things, right? Just the hospital, the block party, just all of these things just like go, oh, and so you're just gripped because it's so intriguing, it's fascinating. You want to know who's getting their comeuppance, how's this all going to play out, right? What will be the choice Caleb has to make, right? How does he make this choice? Like, whoa, whoa. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed, people. I do not think you're going to be disappointed. You know what I mean? This film, and again, for this first film, there are so many different locations, right? We got hospitals, we got block parties, we got fashion shoots, right? There's indoor scenes, outdoor, it's like different lighting in the dark. So many different things that are going down, but just handled with, a sublime subtlety where, as a viewer, right, you're not thinking, wait, this doesn't make any sense, or that's weird. We're jumping from that to this. No, transitions were great. The shots were great. You know what I mean? Like, and the acting. Right, the acting was on point. There's a few characters where you know what I mean. You're seeing these different sides, and they do a superb job. Right, you definitely have to really give mad props. Whew, so many props to Crystal Hernandez because the way she plays these two people but in different ways. Like they both have distinct personalities, which you know what I mean? That's not easy to do. That is not easy to do. So that, yeah. Now, like, listen, there's been a lot of films, what I mean, that deal with cheating and infidelity and all of that. So if you like those films, I think there was the Obsession one. Oh man, there's been a few, right? I swear we covered some this year. Man, like, what I mean? When you're trying to think of things, oh, my mind's gone blank. But yeah, there's been some great ones, right? I mean, you've got the classics, like Basic Instinct and Sliver and just all of them things. But yeah, there's been other ones that are just, man, handled really well. And this will be on your list, right? If you like those films, you will most definitely like Demise because it is gripping. It is gripping. So, as I said, right, it's great to see representation, behind the camera, in front of the camera. That's great. But the big thing, because you can have representation, but then the story isn't there, right? The acting isn't on point. But when it all comes together so well, right? So well, that's the shine. That's the shine. And that's what happens here, right? Because we've got definitely a fresh new talent doing her thing. And that's what it is, right? That's what it is. It is the perfect, right? It's the perfect showcase for breaking down these barriers, because there is some straight up talent waiting to do their thing. So, yeah, Demise, people, the 27th of February. And word is, there is a sequel ready to go. I say ready to go, scripts written, right? Now, you know what I mean? I think any financiers that watch this would be like, okay, take my money because we want to know what the fuck happens next. Now, we do get don't get me wrong, we get a definitive ending, but there are threads. There are threads, people, ready to get pulled on. You know what I mean? And I want to see those fucking things get pulled because woo, this was fantastic. So mark down the 27th of February, because that's when you will be able to grab Demise on a VOD near you. So go do that, people. Go do that.